Through the net regeneration scheme, it's not just nets we're recycling. We also find a lot of other different fishing plastic. And here's some examples of the things that we can recycle. Basically all these nice large rigid plastics can easily be recycled through the scheme. So we've got things here like bits of floating pontoons that are quite often used, and these big large bins which are used for storing nets, anything from coat boxes. Also find quite a lot of things like traffic cones, etc. As long as they've had, this one is all plastic anyway, but if they have any sort of sand or cement weights in them taken out, then those can be recycled. And we also do often get broken plastic pallets in through the scheme. One of the plastic items we commonly find are beach toys. So here we have a crab bucket, which is now very heavily degraded, and fish crates. The fishing industry use a huge amount of these, but they do break quite regularly, so when they do, again, not a problem, we can recycle those. Things like baskets, also recyclable. Here we have some of the floats, these rigid plastic floats, yeah, we can recycle those. Other items that are quite often used for storing fishing gear, baskets, things like bleach containers, etc. If these are rinsed out, they can be recycled, but we can't have any residue in anything because we're unfortunately not able to handle that material. So we do find quite a lot of these. These are often upcycled by fishermen to things like whelk pots, or sometimes used as markers for marking some of the pots and traps. They do wear out, so when they wear out then we can recycle these as well. But we also have components of traps and pots which can be recycled. They can go into the recycling scheme. Here's two examples of traps that can be recycled. You can see these have reached the end of their life, and what they've done is they've removed any pieces of net, any weights in the bottom, like concrete weights have been taken out, so we're just getting the plastic through, and if we can have them clean, so there's any heavy encrusted marine life on there, that could be removed too, and likewise if there's any bits of rope, if those could be cut off. Okay. So here's another part which could be recycled through us, but this is very heavily contaminated. It's just got a lot of marine growth on there, so if that was pressure washed off, then this is the kind of state that we could accept it in. So any rigid sheets of plastic that have been used, any offcuts, they can also be put into the recycling scheme. If you're unsure about any of these items, then all you have to do is just take a photo and send us an email, and we'll be able to get back to you on those. So here's some of the examples of the things we can't recycle through the scheme. This sort of rubberized type materials, unfortunately we have no current recycling stream in place for those. Also, any heavily contaminated materials. So here you can see there's lots of build-up of grime and muck. This could be recycled, but it just needs somebody to go over it and give it a bit of a scrub. This is a plastic drum that's been sent to us. This is too far gone for recycling. I can hear soil rattling around inside of it. It's very heavily contaminated, so it's been dragged around the yard. It's covered in all kinds of oils and dirt, so yeah, this will take quite a lot of cleaning to actually get it prepared for us, but not the kind of thing we can accept. We do get quite a lot of rubber material also from the harbours. Unfortunately we don't have an outlet for this at the moment, so we're not able to recycle these materials. These bags as well, made out of plastic, can be recycled, but this is way too heavily biofouled. You can see it's been in the marine environment for a long time, so we've got lots of encrusted marine life on here, mixed in with loads of silt and mud, which would be damaging to the equipment. So that, unfortunately, in the present state can't be recycled, but if this was just pressure washed off and cleaned, it could be recycled by us. Here's an example of something that can't be recycled. It's an old grease tube, still full with grease, so that's something that we wouldn't be able to recycle. Things like this can't be recycled through our scheme. It's just too heavily degraded, too frayed, and all this is going to do is just break up into microplastics around this site, so we don't want to accept anything that's this far degraded. We don't have the ability to recycle this in-house. Everything that comes into the scheme has to be pre-separated, so we would need the gill net separated out from the rope, and also from the floats. Can't really recycle material which is this heavily matted, organic matter in there as well, which is also problematic, and other elements added in there. So here we've got some fishing hooks some different beads and murals, etc. And those will all be problematic when it comes to trying to recycle this material. So unfortunately this has gone a bit too far from us.